The entire banking system is shaking, Michael Steiner reports. Why are big banks suddenly rushing to shut down so many local branches all over the nation? As I've discussed in previous articles, the US banks are currently sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars in unrealized losses. And when financial institutions get into trouble, they start getting really tight with their money and they start cutting costs. In addition to laying off workers, our banks have been cutting costs by permanently closing local branches. For example, between November 12th and November 18, the sixth largest bank in the United States initiated filings to close 19 more local branches. America's sixth largest bank, PNC, has confirmed the closure of 19 more branches nationwide, following a staggering 203 branch closures earlier this year. This decision, aligned with the bank's shift towards digital banking, is raising concerns among customers who prefer traditional banking methods. Scheduled for February 2024, the closures will primarily impact Pennsylvania, where the majority of branches marked for closure are located. However, several branches in other states, including Illinois, Texas, Alabama, New Jersey, Ohio, Florida, and Indiana, will also be shutting their doors, leaving customers in these regions with limited access to in-person banking services, The Sun reported. Of course, PNC has lots of company. During that exact same week, several other prominent banks made similar moves. JP Chase followed closely with 18 filings, 3 in Ohio, 2 each in Connecticut and South Carolina, and 1 each in 11 states, including New York, Illinois, Florida, and Massachusetts. Citizens Bank came in third with 8 branch closures filings, 6 in New York, and 1 each in Massachusetts and Delaware. Minneapolis-based U.S. Bank filed for 7 closures, 3 in Tennessee, and 1 each in Missouri, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Illinois. Bank of America made 5 filings, 2 in New York, 1 in each in Texas, Massachusetts, and California. Citibank filed for 2 branch closures, and Sterling Bremer, First National Bank of Hugh Springs, Windsor, FS and LA, and Aroostook County, FS and LA made 1 filing each. Altogether, banks filed to shut down 64 branches. Read that last sentence again. 64 branches to shut down. In just 1 week, U.S. banks decided to shut down a total of 64 branches, and that's stunning. What we're witnessing right now is a tsunami of branch closures. Unfortunately, even more trouble is coming for our banks because the real estate industry is a total mess right now. Existing home sales have fallen to depressingly low levels, and we just learned that new home sales in the U.S. dropped 5.6% last month. Let's remember that banks make money out of charging people interest. So if they don't give out loans, they can't make money. Their income is dried up. So new home sales, I say, in the United States fell in October as typical mortgage rates reached their highest levels this year. Sales of newly constructed homes fell 5.6% in October to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 679,000 from a revised rate of 719,000 in September, according to a joint report from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Census Bureau. Prices for new homes are falling as well. So the median price of new single-family houses sold in October fell by 3.1% from September to $409,300, red line, the lowest since August 2021, down by 17.6% from a year ago, which had been the peak, according to data from Census Bureau today. The 3-month moving average is down by nearly 12% from its peak in December last year, green, and these are contract prices and do not include the cost of mortgage rate buy-downs and other incentives such as free upgrades, but they do reflect the lower price points due to smaller footprints and the de-amortization. Meanwhile, the commercial real estate crisis just continues to intensify. Just take out these new numbers that were released several days ago by TREP, The volume of CMBS loans that are classified as delinquent increased by 49.4% during the 10 months through October to $27.91 billion. That volume amounts to 5.07% of the $601.98 billion universe tracked by TREP, and in contrast, delinquencies at the end of last year amounted to 3.3% of the $616.15 billion dollar universe that extent. Wow. It turns out that office buildings are the primary reason why delinquencies are rising at such an astonishing pace. The driver of the increase was the office sector, which had a 261% increase in delinquency volumes over a 10-month period through October. A total of 119 loans with a balance of $9.59 billion, or 5.91% of all CMBS office loans, were at least 30 days late with their payments as of the end of October. At the end of last year, 115 loans with a balance of $2.65 billion, or 1.63% of office loans, were delinquent. The sector's prospects are unlikely to improve, as office occupancy rates have declined in most of the country's major markets. That's been driven by a substantial pullback in demand from office-using tenants. All of this reminds me so much of what we witnessed in 2008. When the real estate industry falls on hard times, a financial crisis is usually right around the corner. Needless to say, it is not just U.S. banks that are in trouble right now. Major banks all over the globe are getting hit really hard, and that includes Metro Bank in the UK. Metro Bank shareholders have backed a multi-million-pound rescue deal aimed at securing the bank's future. The vote was on a package. The bank agreed last month to raise extra funds from investors and refinance debt. Metro's share price had plunged in September following reports it needed to raise cash to shore up its finances. In the days ahead, we're going to hear about a lot more banks that need to shore up their finances, quote unquote, and it's inevitable that more banks will fail. A number of people have asked me questions about their banks lately, and I've told them the same thing that I tell everyone. It's never wise to put all of your eggs in one basket. We're moving into a period of time that's going to be extremely chaotic, and so you don't want to have all of your assets in a single place. What we have seen so far is just the beginning. Our banks are going to get into even deeper trouble during the days ahead, and that's really bad news for all of us. This is by Michael Snyder. It says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled Chaos is now available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 7 other books available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss any of my articles. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and The Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Savior, Lord and Savior today. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.